What's up, folks? I'm Private Hudson, and today we're going to be taking a look at Vampire Survivors. This game is in early access on Steam right now, and it's just $3. That's right, $3, and that's the full price. It's not a sale price, and it just might be the best $3 that you'll ever spend on a game. Unless, of course, you have an issue with lots of flashing colors and lights, or if you're prone to seizures. In that case, if you are, you probably shouldn't buy this game or watch this video, because while the game may start out looking like this, after about 20 minutes or so, it ends up looking like this. Vampire Survivors isn't like anything I've played before. The art is heavily inspired by Castlevania, to the point where if Konami weren't so busy with their pachinko machine business, they might want to have a word with the developer. Other than the art, the gameplay is completely different though. Basically, you pick a character, you walk around an infinitely scrolling level, your character auto-attacks infinitely spawning enemies, they drop experience orbs, you level up, you pick a new weapon or an item out of a random pool, and you rinse and repeat until you either die or you hit the 30-minute mark, which is the cap as it spawns the Reaper, who just kills you instantly. Now that doesn't sound like much, but trust me, the game is incredibly fun. You probably won't survive for 30 minutes during your first few runs, especially if you're playing the first level, Mad Forest. For some sort of reason, the second level, which is the library, is significantly easier, as you only have to worry about going left and right. It's one infinite corridor, whereas in the forest, monsters come from everywhere. When you do die, you might unlock some new items and characters, but also you can use the gold that you picked up in the shop. Here you can purchase permanent upgrades that'll make your next run easier. These can be simple things like more damage, armor, health, experience boost, to significantly bigger upgrades like more projectiles and even a revive. Buying an upgrade will increase the cost of all future upgrades, but you can always refund everything free of charge with no penalty and start playing around and unlocking stuff again. This is great for experimentation. Once you unlock a character, you'll need to use gold to purchase them, but they're cheap. And each character has a different starting weapon and a passive, and sometimes different stats. Now, I don't remember any of their names. I only remember their weapon and passive, so forgive me for what's to come. You start off with knockoff Belmont, who has a whip and gains 10% more damage every 10 levels. This caps out at 50%. Initially, my favorite character was Garlic Man, because I was foolish and thought that garlic was a good weapon. He has plus 25% pickup radius, but minus 30 max health. The pickup radius is great, as it allows me to skip the magnet-like attract orb item, and Garlic is pretty strong early game. It's an AoE aura that does constant damage to enemies. Every time you upgrade it, the damage, the size of the aura, and the rate of damage increase as well, but it ends up falling off pretty hard late game. Currently, my two favorite characters are Mr. Skellington and Wand Lady. Mr. Skellington has a unique weapon that no one else can get. He throws bones. Of course, because he's a skeleton. His passive is that every 20 levels, he gains an extra projectile up to a maximum of 3. Now, you already know what to do with this guy. Unlock the extra projectile upgrade in the shop, and try to get as many projectile weapons as you can during your run, so they'll all synergize with this passive. The wand, axes, Bible, fireball, basically anything that is thrown synergizes extremely well. The downside with this guy is that his bone weapon is extremely weak at the start, so you need to get some levels ASAP with him so that you can get some better weapons in the meantime. Late game, the bone is strong. It does start ricocheting between enemies after a couple of upgrades. Now, Wand Lady is actually one of the first few characters you unlock, and I really like her because the wand is one of the best weapons, hands down, even late game. Her passive is she gains 10% bonus experience every 5 levels, up to a maximum of 30%. Personally, I find it difficult to level up with some of the other characters, but with Wand Lady, I always get off to a good start thanks to that passive. So during the course of your run, you'll be killing enemies, picking up experience, leveling up. Every time you level, you get to choose 1 out of 3 to 4 random things, and this can either be a new weapon, a new passive item, or an upgrade to one that you're already carrying. Now, you can only have a maximum of 6 weapons and 6 passives, so it's important to pick things that will work well with one another. You cannot drop one, you cannot swap one. What you pick is what you get for the run. Another thing to keep in mind is that weapons can be evolved. If you upgrade the weapon to the maximum level 8 and you're also carrying the correct combo corresponding passive item, when you kill a boss and open up the chest they drop, you'll be rewarded with the evolved weapon. I'm not going to spoil what the combos are, and while you can look up a guide, I do recommend learning and experimenting on your own, at least for your first few runs. Don't spoil the game for yourself. I will say that defensive items are incredibly underpowered and, in my opinion, just useless. Damage is the way to go in this game, because at the 20-minute mark, when you're surrounded by enemies constantly, as you kill one of them, it gets replaced by another one. That extra little bit of armor or movement speed or health, it's not going to do anything for you. Besides, all that stuff can just be upgraded in the shop. Damage, on the other hand, will, because it'll keep killing the monsters that are replacing the monsters you just killed. Also, these chests are awesome. They play this catchy little jingle, give you gold, and usually give you 1 upgrade if you don't have anything to evolve yet. If you're lucky, you sometimes get 3. Now, if you're really lucky, then... Other than experience and gold, other things that you can find in the level is your typical Castlevania-style floor chicken, which restores your health, and some temporary power-ups like a flamethrower, time stopper, a magnet, and a vaporizer. Also, some levels do have hidden items that you can get. While the cap is 6, through leveling up, you can get a 7th one if you can find it hidden in the level. Currently, there are 4 levels, and while that may not seem like much, each one does have an additional hyper mode where enemies are twice as fast, but you also get rewarded with more gold. Also, there are over 12 different characters, 60 different items, and a bunch of unlockables in the shop. So these different possible combinations make every run unique. The developer also updates the game frequently. Even today, as I'm working on this review, a new update just came out with an evolved version of the pentagram weapon and a new character. Now, who knows how many more characters, weapons, items, and content in general there will be just a few months from now. And again, this game is only $3. This is an absolute steal. Fantastic game, highly recommended. Skip your Starbucks Caramello Crappuccino today and buy this game instead. I'm Private Hudson. I'll see you folks next time.